I'll just mute it. Okay.
Okay, guys. Feels like it was just a few minutes ago that I saw you. Because it was. What?
Dream Mall.
I didn't even have to ask the question. The Dream Mall. What happens at the Dream Mall? Kristen?
You ride the ferry.
You can ride the Ferris wheel. Jonathan, what
You
else?
shop at there.
You go shopping. What kind of things do you buy at the Dream Mall, Celine?
Clothes.
What? Okay, clothes. Claire? Food. Ethan?
Movie tickets.
You can go see a movie.
I never go to Dream Mall.
Yeah. Ryan?
Toys.
Toys. Hayden?
I was gonna say toys.
Okay.
3C like phones or something.
Phones and electronics. That's right. Okay. Yes, the Dream Mall has lots and lots of different products.
And it's unique.
Okay.
And there's
So I want you to think for a minute. Yesterday we read a story about Marketplace. We talked about selling things, buying things. And the Dream Mall is a good example of a place which has lots of products. Okay? And it also has lots of people
going there.
buying products from the store. Okay? So, where do those things come from, though, that are at the Dream Mall? Where does that telephone come from? Where do those toys come from? Where do those clothes come from? Sean?
The place that they make things.
The place where people make things? Do we know a name of that place? A factory, good. Jacinta, is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Tristan? Jonathan?
I'm going to say a factory of Apple in California.
If it's an Apple computer, it probably came from California. That's right. Okay. What about the movie that you go see at the mall? Where would that come from?
The music show. The people who made the movie.
Okay.
The movie feed.
Uh-huh. That's right. Jacinta?
Theater.
Yeah, that you see it at the theater. It probably came from the movie.
Factory.
They don't make movies in a factory. He's not using the word factory, but the company that makes them. A lot of movies come from
Disney.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or Disney. That's right.
Universal.
Well, let me ask you another question. Where does this salsa come from? Where does this come from? Maggie?
I have it.
From a tree, that's right.
No, from Ryan.
Well, it's Ryan's, but it came from a tree right next door to our school, didn't it? Okay?
No.
There are Zalzas grown right around our school. Okay? What about the milk that some of you drank for lunch? Where did that come from? Ryan? A cow.
Stinky cow.
Hopefully not. Okay? What about the noodles that some of you ate for lunch? Where did they come from?
I think. I forgot. I don't know how to express it.
Okay.
Final.
You try?
Oh.
Before they were noodles, what were they? What was it?
I know.
Okay. Claire? Dough. What's dough made out of? Jonathan?
Well, white stuff.
White stuff. Jacinta?
Egg, flour, and milk.
Wow, egg flour milk. Great. Sometimes there's water, sometimes there's a little bit of salt. Very good. And where does that flour come from?
Oh! Banana.
It grew in a field. It's a plant that starts with a W.
Wheat.
Wheat. That's right. So all of these things, even our clothes, there are many steps that happen before we can actually buy it and use it or eat it. Okay? And we're going to look at some different words today. So I'm going to have some different words that we're going to learn. So I want you to look up here for just a minute. I'm going to go over these questions because this is what we're going to learn right now. Okay? So let me see your eyes up here. Okay? You see 30 sets of eyes. So the first question, Sean, you want to read that one for us?
What are goods and services?
Yes. What are goods and services? Okay. All right, Brian, can you read this one? Second one.
Who are producer and customer?
Okay. Who are producers and
Customer.
consumers? Okay. Do you think these two might go together?
No.
Not
really.
Thumbs up if you think they might go together. Thumbs down if you think totally different. Okay. We'll see in a minute. Okay. Tristan, can you read the third one?
Can you think of an examples of goods and services?
Okay, examples of goods and services. You guys just told me some. You may not have recognized it, but you just told me some examples of goods and services that you could get at the Dream Mall. Okay, and then the last question. Okay, William, can you read this one for us?
How producers and consumers work together.
Okay, how do producers and consumers work together? Okay, so let's open up our textbook to page 276, please. 276. 276. Okay. There is a question, kind of maybe sums up
I'm there.
these things right here at the top. Okay, on page 276, top left-hand corner, on what to know. Okay, what to know. 276. One more page. Here we go. Okay, this question right here. Right, Hayden, will you read that question for us? What to know?
How do producers and consumers depend on each other?
Okay, how do producers and consumers depend on each other? So that kind of goes along with these questions I wrote on the board. All right? Would anybody like to volunteer to read a little bit? Okay, Jonathan, you want to start us off? Producers and consumers on page 276.
No, to where?
Okay? Once you read that whole paragraph, please.
Christina and her family live in a community in which people have many kinds of jobs. Some workers grow or make products, and others sell products. A worker who grows, makes, or sells products is called a producer.
Are you a producer?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because we don't make products.
You don't? You
Yeah.
don't make things every day in school?
Only books and...
Paper and planes.
Okay. Yes.
This one.
That's right. What about in art class? Are you a producer in art class?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Probably the only difference right now is the things you produce in school, you're not selling. Okay, so there's a difference. Okay, so the farmer who grew the zaoza, is he a producer?
No, yeah.
Look at your definition.
No.
Grows, makes, or sells
Oh,
products.
yes.
So a farmer that grew the zaoza is a producer. Sorry. What about the person that made my shirt?
Yes.
Yes. Think of another example. Okay? Think of another example of a producer. Who is a producer?
You. The person who made my shirt.
That's true. That is true. Let's think of
My shirt.
maybe someone that sells a product. We talked about someone that grows, somebody that makes. What about somebody that sells? Is the worker at 7-Eleven a producer? If they're selling the product,
Could be.
they're the producer. Okay? So, one of our vocabulary words, okay, is a producer. All right? All right. Is there a volunteer to go second? Read second. Maggie, thank you. On page 2, yep. Do the first paragraph.
Products are also called goods. Goods are things that can be bought and sold. Christina's grandmother grows flowers herself. Her dad makes parts that are used to make computers.
Okay, so that's a synonym. A product is also called a good. A good. Okay?
Why is it called a good? Or good?
I don't know the history of that, Ethan. Okay? But we're going to match it with something else in just a second that producers make. Okay? That's a little bit harder to understand. Okay? But maybe sometime I can look that up. All right? And see why that word was used. Okay? Maybe, I have an idea. I don't know if this is right. But maybe goods are good. Goods are the things we want to buy, right?
Yeah.
That's probably not right. Okay? All right. Next volunteer. Caleb?
Producers also provide services. Services are what people do for others. Dr. Briggs takes care of Christina's teeth. Mr. West teaches her to play the cello.
Okay. So, how many of you play the cello? Or violin? Or another instrument?
That's me,
Is your teacher providing a service?
Yes.
Is your violin teacher, your cello teacher providing a service? Yes. Okay. So the example here was that Dr. Briggs takes care of Christina's teeth. So a dentist is providing a service. They are producing something. You can't see it. Sometimes you can't touch it, but they're providing you a service. Okay? Usually you pay for that service. Have you ever ridden in a taxi cab?
Yes.
Did the taxi cab give you anything that you got to keep?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah. One time my dad's friend was a taxi cab and he gave me a toy.
Okay. But normally, the bus driver drives you to school, right? He's producing a service for you.
But you
Okay.
get something from their company. The change.
That's true. You give them money, they give you change. That's true. Okay? So, what do producers produce? Two things. Goods and services. What about teachers? Do teachers produce goods or services?
Services.
Can you think of another job that has a service?
Yeah.
Raise your hand. Can you think of another job or occupation that has a service? Jonathan?
A firework.
The fireman. Great example.
Policeman.
Policeman. Great example. Howard?
Nurse.
Nurses. Very good. Or doctors. All right, turn the page, please. Volunteer. 3. Okay, Maggie, you just read. Ryan, go ahead.
Christina and her mom go shopping downtown. Main Street has many businesses. A person who owns a business makes or sells goods or provides services. Christina gets her haircut at the salon. She and her mom buy sandals at the shoe store and raisin bread at the bakery. The salon, the shoe store, and the bakery are all business.
Okay, good. There's 3 pictures. 3 different businesses. Put your finger on the one that is providing a service. Put your finger on the one that's providing a service. Okay. Okay, put your finger on the one. There's one that's providing a service.
I thought
Okay.
all of them are providing.
Are they?
No, not all of them. Yes.
I think one definitely is providing a service.
Big shoe store.
Okay? No?
Hooray!
Yeah, the hair salon. You get your hair cut. Okay, you don't walk out with all your cut hair, do you? You leave it there on the floor. Okay, so that's a service. Okay, but if you go to the shoe store, you walk away with a good, right? If you go to the bakery, you walk away with some goods. Okay? All right, last paragraph. Can I have a volunteer? Okay, Caleb, you've already read, I think. Okay, Ethan?
Christina and her mom has consumers. A consumer is a person who buys goods or services. When consumers buy things, they provide money so producers can buy things. This makes producers consumers too. The baker buys shoes. The shoe salesperson gets a haircut. The hairstylist buys bread.
Okay, so a producer can be a consumer. A consumer can also be a producer. You can be both. Okay?
Really?
Yes. How?
Yeah.
How? Give me another example. They listed an example. Give me another example where someone is both a producer and a consumer. Can you think of one? Ryan, do you have an example?
Making house.
Making a house. Okay. Who makes the house? Do you know the example, Ryan? Oh, do you know? So I want you to think. Someone that builds a house. They're producing the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay? But they have to go out and be a consumer to buy the wood for the house, or the bricks for the house, or the windows.
Or the steel.
Okay, or the steel. So they are both. Okay, another example, Jacinta? A toy maker. How is he a producer and a consumer, or she?
Oh, make toys for children. Make toys for children.
Okay. And what does he make the toys out of?
Wood.
Maybe wood. Yeah, he has to go get the material to make the toys. Okay? All right, so goods are things that we grow, make, sell. Services are things that we provide for